One of the first things you'll want to know before you can even start playing the saxophone is how to actually put it together. For starters, before anything else, you want to begin preparing the reed that you plan on playing on. To do this, you want to take the reed and briefly soak it in water or put it in your mouth to wet it so that it's not dry when you go to start playing. Next thing, remove your mouthpiece from the case and take off the cap. And now you want to start centering the reed on the mouthpiece. Make sure the reed is centered. Otherwise that'll affect the way that you sound when you're playing. And then once it's centered, you'll go and tighten the screws or screw on your mouthpiece so that the reed doesn't start to move, like so. Next thing you'll want to do, take out your neck from the case and start to connect the mouthpiece to the cork on the end of the neck. If there's difficulty connecting the cork or the mouthpiece to the cork, you'll then want to take some cork grease and apply it to the end of the cork so that the mouthpiece can be put on and removed with ease. Last thing, now you take out the body of the saxophone, remove the cap from the top, and you'll want to attach the neck onto the top of the body. And then you adjust the screw to the right of the neck, tighten it enough so that your neck doesn't move while the saxophone is being played. And just like that, connect it to the neck strap, and now you have your saxophone fully assembled, ready to be played. In terms of playing posture, whether you're playing sitting down or standing up, you'll want to make sure that the saxophone is being brought to you, as opposed to you bringing yourself to the saxophone. Regardless of the playing position, the head should be held high, and your back should be completely straight. If it feels as though the saxophone is too low or too high and isn't being brought directly to your mouth, then you'll want to adjust your neck strap so that you can find a comfortable spot. As you can see right now, the saxophone is kind of too low. If I just sit up straight and bring it to me, it's too low. And now if I adjust it like this, as you can see, now it's way too high. So you want to find a comfortable spot in the middle where you can just bring the saxophone right to you without having to worry. Whether you're sitting or standing, but especially when you're standing, both feet should be planted firmly on the ground to ensure a good balance for when you're playing. And the last thing to think about, the saxophone can be held directly in front of the player, or it can be held to the side of the player. This is dependent on the size of the instrument as well as the overall size of the person playing. It is very important for players to develop a firm and unmoving embouchure as they learn to play the saxophone. In order to create a good embouchure, you want to start by placing the mouthpiece halfway into your mouth and anchoring your upper teeth on the top, like so. Next thing, you'll want to drop your jaw as though you're going to say an ah syllable, so ah. Think of it like that. When this is done, you want to take a deep breath and then bring the corners of your mouth inward in order to avoid having excess air escape from the mouth when you go to play. With this, a tone can be produced by releasing air through the mouthpiece. Just like that. The function of articulation is to underline the rhythmic structure of the music. Inclusion of various articulations in a musical passage emphasizes the rhythms that occur. On the saxophone, there are 3 syllables that are used for telling various articulations. You have your 2-syllable, which is the most commonly used of the 3, and is used for normal to staccato articulations, which sounds like this. Do is used in order to produce a softer tone. And la is used for phrases that are supposed to be more subtle, though this articulation isn't used as commonly as the other 2. Last thing to know about articulations for this time is that you got to keep a steady and supported airstream in order to produce your different articulations properly. If you want to get your saxophone to speak, you'll want to keep yourself supported, keep your air consistent, regardless of what type of articulations you're using. Whether they're staccato or legato, airstream is important. As far as tone production goes, the saxophone is capable of producing a large variety of tones, potentially more than any other wind instrument, to be clear. A player's tone can be influenced by a number of different factors, such as your choice of reeds as well as your embouchure. Following the steps to creating a good embouchure, as I previously stated, release air through the mouthpiece while trying to maintain a steady and supported airstream. Another way that you can practice this, rather than just playing one long tone, is to take a simple musical phrase. You can take just 3 notes and play through these notes to see if you can get each of them to sound consistent as you go. So something like this. Last thing, in many cases it's really good for you to sing through a melody the first time before attempting to play through it, because this way you'll be able to hear how you sing it and try to match the way that you play it on the saxophone to how you were singing it. Do this and you'll be well on your way to creating a good and consistent tone.